Hey everyone, welcome to the Stranded Podcast by Three Strands Young Adults, where we talk about faith, life, and everything in between. Whether you're feeling lost, looking for direction, or just in need of some real talk, we're here for you. We're so glad you've tuned in today.
Each week, we dive into topics that matter to you: relationships, purpose, struggles, and stories of how God is showing up in the everyday. Our goal is to help you find your feet when life feels like you're stranded and remind you that you're never truly alone.
Let's get into it.
What is up, podcast people? Welcome to another day, another episode, part two. Got our friends here with us, Betsy and Steven, along with Kayla and I, and man, excited for this part two. If you didn't catch the first episode of the one we just recorded for you guys, it came out a week ago, man, check it out. Powerful story, man, a lot of things to glean from, learn from, whether if you are out there and you're single, dating, married, or engaged, wherever you're at, man, a lot of powerful things to learn from and be encouraged by. And excited for this episode that we're going to kind of shift gears from the first one. You guys have a backstory, kind of bodybuilding, working out, fitness. Kayla as well, bodybuilder. I was never a bodybuilder. Spartan races were about my limit until we started dating. I probably worked out maybe twice.
Catfished me.
Since, yeah, she says I catfished her. I would work out 3, 4, 5 times a week. Spartan races. I'm running 5Ks. All this stuff. We started dating.
Put a ring on and he was like, I'm done.
That's why I need you. I need you to hold me accountable.
There's still time.
I need you to hold me accountable. So really, all three of you guys, I'm the oddball here, have a backstory in bodybuilding, and a lot of just fitness, gym, physical health, man, that big umbrella of things. And hopefully, as young adults, even if we're like me, hey, I've been in the gym since we're dating, since we started dating, just still have this desire to still do something active, whether it's go outside and cut grass, like just doing something that your body is moving, you're sweating a little bit, you're staying active in some way, shape, or form. And man, when it comes to and this is probably every generation with the same, nothing new under the sun, man, all the tension and balances between, man, what does it look like to go to the gym and be modest with what you wear and how you wear it, the body parts you work out and you're proud of, right? And you want, man, flex in the mirror, but hey, should I flex this? Should I post this? Man, just that whole umbrella of, man, pursuing fitness while also having a level of integrity, trying to be modest, represent Jesus, man, all those things. How did you guys get to the point, or with the workout journey or fitness journeys, was it immediately from the jump, hey, there's a level of modesty I want to have, or was it more of a learn as I go type thing?
You go for it. This is your wheelhouse.
Man. Excellent couple questions. I think before, in terms of fitness for me, it's been parallel with kind of my faith journey. Before I came to know the Lord, I loved the gym, and that was like where I was the most funny, the most popular, the most successful, because I started at such a young age. I think in those formidable years, I was always associated with the gym. And then got to college, came to know the Lord, and then following college, we got married, and I had to take kind of a big step back because obviously my faith is way more important. But as I was growing in my faith, I was really still interested in fitness. Mm-hmm. I'd gained a bunch of weight. I was super undisciplined. And then I got interested in bodybuilding because I saw someone had lost like 60 pounds in like one summer. And I was like, that sounds really, really good. That would fix all my problems.
That's awesome.
And so I reached out to him. I was like, hey, how did you do that? How are you going to solve all my problems? And he gave me like the name of his coach. And then I went through, it's like, I think it was the first prep.
It's like 5 months.
5 months. And I went from
20-week preps.
I went from 250 pounds to 170 pounds.
Wow.
And just kind of like had a total life transformation through that prep, because as I was doing this, I was learning a lot about what like discipline looks like, because I just was totally undisciplined. I learned, okay, if I want to lose weight, I need to get on the treadmill at the end of the day, whether I'm going to get home late or not.
Yep.
And then it was like, okay, in the morning I need to eat what I'm told to eat, whether I like it or not. And then I realized I was seeing so much progress that the Lord was gracious to kind of reveal to me, like, hey, this is the same way that you need to approach your faith journey and your discipline with that.
Awesome.
Obviously, there's a lot more grace in that than not being on the treadmill and you lose the weight. But it was like, okay, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to have my 40 grams of this, and this, and I'm also going to read my Bible. And then as I was growing, that kind of parallel happened of, man, I'm growing in my faith. Wow, this routine is really hard, but I'm learning so much about what it takes to be undistracted and disciplined in something and grow
That's awesome.
in it. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
And then did the social media thing and then started documenting that journey, and then people really resonated with it. And then I was like, wow, I really need to be serious about this because I'm talking about my faith while
And this
also
is
flexing.
while y'all married, engaged, dating?
We were married.
First prep was engaged.
Engaged, okay.
Yeah, the social media stuff.
Social media was married. That was our first year of marriage.
Were you like, why are you posting?
I mean, it was a
Were you
lot.
like 100% supportive from day
It
one?
was. I mean, he had always posted on Instagram. Like that wasn't new,
Okay.
but he. I mean, you had what, like 6,000
I
followers
think I had
at the time.
4,000 when I started.
Okay, yeah. And then the second prep, literally he started the prep the day we got back from our honeymoon. Do not recommend.
Yeah, oh, I bet.
But he started his prep then, and it was a shorter one, maybe
That's good.
2.5 months, 3 months.
Okay.
And that's when it, like, he
Okay.
literally did a daily vlog every single day.
Did you like
because of
wake
filming.
up to like a bunch of followers one day of like, crap, what do I do?
No, I think, when I had, because I'd been making YouTube videos since I was like 6, so I'd always had a desire to be like an entertainer and to like be special.
I need to see these.
And then when I was in college, I was making I'd make like skits, but they were all like super gym bro, like douchey skits. Because I wanted, because at the time my Instagram was also like my dating profile.
Yeah.
Because like the funnier I was, the more jacked I look. It was just like my business card. And I always had the wrong desire to do social media. It's like, I want to get popular at Liberty so that, because everyone knew me because, oh, I saw that video. And I was like, oh, cool. But then when I started the fitness thing, it was
Is that how you guys met? Betsy, you found one of his videos.
Did you slide in his DMs?
Probably.
No.
Well,
He was, so Liberty, this is backstory. Liberty has like a big talent show every year called Coffee House, and he was always in Coffee House videos. Like his freshman year, he was in one. And so I saw those, but he was also just a really loud, rambunctious gym bro, and I worked at the front desk at the gym. So that's how I
that
knew
love
of
story.
him. Yeah. Anyways.
And it was just kind of interesting how the Lord used that, because I had such a strong desire to be like an influencer at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was like always like trying to come up with fun ideas, but it wasn't until I was like talking about my faith that the Lord like blessed it. And I think we gained 100,000 in a year because I was just consistently posting.
Yeah.
I was being myself, which I think was the first time ever. And the fitness thing just like lined up perfectly.
Yeah. So did having more eyes on you, if you will, from a social media standpoint, affect the level of modesty you wanted to hold? Does that make sense? Like, if, like for me, if I didn't, or anybody, right? If you go to the beach, man, it's awesome. Shirts off, we're at the beach, great. But then knowing, man, I'm at the beach, and if we vlog this, do this, whatever, a lot of eyes are gonna see this. So let me put a tank top on while we're doing this. Like, did the amount of eyes that you had and or have on you ratchet up the level of modesty?
I think that like public self-consciousness never hit me a lot because I've swam my whole life.
Yeah.
And I always had my shirt off when I was like 5 swimming. So I think I was so used to it, and also being like a ginger when you're like, this sounds crazy.
They're so
but
pale you can't even see
We
them.
have like a 50% shot. We're gonna have a redhead.
Yeah.
So that'd be wild.
That'd
Baby
be
boy.
awesome.
They have one too.
I know.
Very
That'd be
high
wild.
chance.
That's crazy.
But being a redhead, you're very much defined optically because you're very pale. And
Optically.
you're like bright orange. And I think,
You poor thing.
yeah. Well, and growing up, everyone was like, I was a redhead, so I was like, don't forget your sunscreen. And then I was always swimming, so I was like, hey, that kid's really pale.
Yeah.
And then when I got to middle school, I was like a very chunky redhead. So I was like, wow, that's a big redhead. So I
You're like, I'm gonna be a jacked redhead now.
and I think I've always been used to people just like looking at me, not necessarily for good or bad reasons. So
I
I've
got
never
you.
been
Yeah,
like
yeah. I got
in
you.
terms of like aware, like, oh, I hope people are looking, because there's always just like, they probably are because I'm like bright white.
Yeah, yeah.
It was never like they're probably looking at me right now. But in the gym, 100%, I'm probably more.
What were
aware
some
of it.
things you were convicted by? Even I would say even both of you,
Yeah.
because this is probably, or all three of you could probably speak to this. From a, man, I want to pursue fitness. I want to go to the gym, and there'd be a lot of people, but man, depending on what gyms you go to, there's either a lot of people wearing a lot of less clothes, or a lot of really, really, really tight clothes, or big holes and things? Like, what were some things that you guys were like, or even I can't work out in this space anymore, if there was some of those, like, because this is not, it's feeding more my flesh than I am feeding my muscles, or just, hey, I was going to start doing this, but now I'm convicted by it, so I'm not with it being under that umbrella of fitness.
I've already been yapping.
Well, mine's so different, and this is where last episode Josh called me out for being black and white, but I feel like this is where I'm learning not to be black and white.
Amen.
Because when I was competing, I kind of fell into it in all the wrong reasons. Like, I couldn't find a way where, for me, and this is where you can see that people have different conviction levels, and it's not all black and white. But for me, like, I started getting really, really convicted because I was like, I'm showing my entire body, and like, I couldn't figure out how to glorify the Lord in it. Like, my mindset was like, if I go less hard on the Stairmaster right now, someone else is working harder than me, and I need to, like, that's all I thought. And then I ended up developing like really bad body image issues and like all of this stuff to where it's like, I was like idolizing my body. Like, I needed to be shredded forever. And like the Lord had nothing in that. And so to hear like someone who can like glorify the Lord in bodybuilding, it's so cool, because I had to give it up because I was like, I don't know how this is going to work. So I'm learning. And that's cool, because that's how Josh and I started dating, is I quit bodybuilding, and he was like, oh, she can eat food. Like, let me talk to her. But no, that's where I just had so many questions, because I'm like, wait, like seeing someone who can like glorify the Lord, you don't see a lot of Christians in the sport because you're on stage in like Speedos or bikinis and you're posing and you're primarily getting judged for what you look like. And so it's like, how in the world do you not obsess over like what you look like? So I'm still learning.
Yeah. I mean, I've only done one show, so I'm very like new to the bodybuilding world. I pretty much just started working out when we met, and then just did one show last summer. And I think I would say we were as prayerful as we knew how to be about it at the very beginning, before I started my prep, of just like, okay, what's the line of like, what am I going to post? That was a big thing. Because like, obviously you're going to get more traction and more attention when you get skinny. That's just kind of how it works, especially in the bikini world, which is where I competed. And so it's like, okay, where are the lines of what I'm going to post? And we like drew those very clear and made sure that was set, because then when I got skinny.
Are there any of those that you remember that you're comfortable sharing?
Yeah, like any of the, I wouldn't post any pictures or videos in my actual suit that I had. If I post anything on my story, I had like at least like leggings on. That was like my thing, and it never was any videos or pictures from the back. That was another thing we were really.
You did a lot of like close friend stories too.
Yeah, I had a close friends of only girls that I would post on my stories. So like the ones who were involved in my journey were there, and then
all those were pre-decided though.
Yes.
Basically, and not, hey, now because of this situation we need to do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Man, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
To have those predetermined. And that's cool.
And then for show day too, like I didn't invite any guys that I knew. My brother was there, and I gave him the choice to be there. I don't think he wanted to be there. But then like the only people I knew were girls that were there. Obviously there's a whole auditorium full of people, but I didn't know them. So it's like I was very careful on who I invited to be in that space, because like you said, if you're wearing a bikini on stage with heels on, it is a very like, you just have to be careful. And I never, especially we have a lot of friends that are guys that are really involved in his fitness journey, who probably would have been fine being there for mine as well, but just knowing that like that line probably shouldn't be crossed.
Well, we also, they were planning on coming, but we reached out to them. We're like, hey, probably shouldn't be here, like just not comfortable with it. Betsy's not comfortable with it, and I don't want to ever put anyone in a position to look at my wife in a way like that. And it was a weird conversation. But
we're still friends with them.
No, that's awesome.
No, we're
That's
so
so
close
cool.
with them.
That you were just honest with it,
Yeah.
right? You didn't let that conviction, right, just sit there and be like, man, at post show, I wish I would have told them, wish I would have reached out. Like, man, for stepping up, taking that initiative, and having that clarifying combo.
And they were
That's a
awesome.
big thing.
They drove all the way up just to come to dinner afterwards.
Yeah.
They just wanted to be, they just loved us.
Shout out
They
to the
had
community.
That's so
Great
crazy.
people.
Yeah, they had been at every one of my shows beforehand, so it just kind of felt like a family affair. I
Yeah.
don't think they had any bad intentions.
Yeah, that's so crazy. I feel like mine was like the opposite. It was like as many people as there, post everything, the more eyes you have. Like people, like that's what you like when you're on prep in the gym, everybody knows. Like like it's just like a thing. Everyone's like, oh, how many weeks out are you? And they say that every single week. And you're in the gym half shredded, and I'm working out in sports bras all the time because I'm like proud and
Yeah.
you get all
you're
the
proud of it, so
attention.
you wanna
Yeah,
post
and you get
about
all
it.
the attention.
Yeah.
But then you have like the after show stuff where you start putting on weight and then it's like you're a normal healthy weight, but your brain is telling you that like you're not okay. Like you think in your head you're like overweight and it's not good and things like that. But I feel like a lot of young adults now, even if they're not doing like competitive bodybuilding, I think we still have like that idolization of what we look like to everybody, especially within our bodies. And I know there's a lot of body image issues within young adults. And like did you guys ever go through that, and how did you like carry the Lord through? Like how did He carry you through that?
You want to go first? I think I'll touch on the social media side because as soon as you said that, I just got like stuck on something I wanted to say. So remind me after this part. The social media side of things, I think I always knew that I was never going to be like the most shredded. And I think the Lord was gracious because at the same time of getting in really good shape, I was kind of like learning, because the idea of social media was to get bigger, like it was to get more popular. And I was able to kind of step back and learn how to tell stories, I guess, and be more creative about it. So there's a little less pressure following the show because I was like, oh, people actually just want to hear me yap. It's like, and I have a big structure. I'm a big guy. So there was like an appeal to that. But I think I was able to kind of like, okay, look ahead and be like, I'm going to learn how to like tell a story about this. So then when it all dies down, I can still tell stories about what God's doing. So it was kind of a little bit of a lift, but, and I definitely struggled with the body image stuff. I think that goes back to being a chunky redhead. I'm always like aware, like how the clothes are fitting, how everything was like, walk by the mirror. Like I had like a compulsion to like check to see if the abs were still there. And that's still like an everyday thing that I have to like be prayerful through, because when you're a redhead and you're looked at all your life, that's like either you're huge or you look really good or you're pale. And so I think that's just kind of like the cross that I'm bearing in this season of life.
You're also only 3 months post show too, so that's also like kind of a sensitive point as well.
Yeah.
Man, were there any places that you guys decided not to work out in because of the environment? Like me, I had the Planet Fitness. I didn't go
He
past the
wouldn't
Planet
work
Fitness.
out at Crunch with me ever.
I was loyal to my Planet Fitness. I would go at night, so I only know I'm limited to just the Planet Fitness atmosphere. But even within that and all the rules that they have, there's still either a lot of dudes revealing a lot of things or a lot of women revealing a lot of things. And I remember specifically being on machines where I would be like, all right, hey, I cannot work out on this machine because there are now 3 people in front of me. I need to go pick a different machine. Like just out of that awareness of I can't do this. Were there any from a physical environment, like, hey, we can't work out in this gym because of this conviction and it's not going to benefit? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or not? I mean, that could very well be.
I think I know what you mean. Do you want to go?
I don't know if there's any like places because of like around me conviction. I would say like, I mean, you've mentioned this a couple times at a gym you've recently gone to, that like the music sometimes is like, it's so loud, it's so raunchy, and you kind of just have to like literally put your earphones in and put them on the, what is it called, the
Worship hits.
yeah, but just like
There we
keep
go.
them to where you
the
can't
noise canceling worship
yeah, the noise
hits.
Noise,
canceling.
There we go.
Phil Wickham just blasting.
Yeah, so you can't hear. So I think that's more of the issue. If it's like the more
Yeah.
of the auditory environment than it is the physical. I think. I mean, maybe we're just so used to it now, being like in gyms all the time. But
Yeah, I think accountability is huge. When Betsy and I went together, so if you're in a relationship, take her with you. I noticed a
Pro tip.
I noticed a stark difference when Betsy was there with me as opposed to when I'm with like my brother and his friend. I think it becomes
100%.
like, I think there's just like an atmosphere of like who's the most alpha, and you're also subconsciously trying to figure out who's bigger, because you're both everyone's doing the same workout, and they're like, oh, you're gonna put on like who's putting on more weight. So there's always like this, like as much as you don't want to admit, like just subconscious, like I did like one more rep, like you feel a little bit better about that. And then I think that bleeds over if you're not careful into like, well, who's she looking at, you know? And that I saw like a stark difference when I went with my brother and like his friend, and I was like much more aware and much more like trying to make sure, like optically much more self-conscious. So when I'm with Betsy, it's perfect, but when I'm not, there is I think like an element of before you enter the gym. I think like if you've had like a pretty intense day, like if you're having a no bones day, I think there's an
What is
opportunity.
a no bones
Have you ever
day?
heard of No Bones Day?
During
TikTok?
COVID, there was a pug that got popular on TikTok, and he was a really old pug, and if you lifted him up, some days he would stand, and some days he would fall
Oh,
over.
it's like when I say I feel like soggy bread.
yeah. So a
I'm
no
tracking-
bones
I'm
day,
tracking
it's like
with
he
you.
fell
I'm
over.
tracking with
Not
you.
a
I'm
good
gonna
day.
use it. I'm gonna use it.
So if you're having a No Bones Day, be aware of that, and then maybe have a buddy that you're texting, or call them like while you're working out, listen to worship music, and just keep your shirt on so that there's no idea of you trying to look better, because you're
Yep.
looking better to establish yourself, to do this, to get eyes on you. So it's just like throw a tarp on it and get a friend on the phone.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Where does, because it seems like whether if it's body image, whether if it's conviction levels or disciplines and modesty, there is a one common denominator at the bottom being y'all's or our identity in Christ, and then from that pursuing things, right? Going back to the show that you did, from your identity in Christ, it then brought the freedom and joy to pursue this, man, and to give it all you got, right?
Yeah.
So can you guys, was there ever a moment where that identity got shaky? Or was it always strong, anchored, hey, we're set, we're good, and then from this, we can then experience the joy to absolutely crush it, right, in bodybuilding and working out and stuff like that.
I mean, I think a lot of women can relate to that. I mean, you said after a show, the body image was just like absolutely crushed. I didn't post a lot, which was helpful because then I didn't have a lot to look back on and compare to, which I think was good, and I'm proud that we did that. But I mean, definitely the body image stuff is like a constant thing, and I don't think I really brought the Lord into. I had a lot of boundaries and that I set that I felt the Lord was convicting us to do, but I don't think I really brought him into like the mental battle of like trying to figure out, like, even though I'm starting to look different and I have to compare myself to all these other girls on stage, like where does it really matter?
Yeah.
That I still didn't really do that very well, I don't think. And so definitely like leading into, if we were ever to do another show, just like being a lot more mindful of not only do we need to create like actual written down boundaries, but like how am I going to invite the Lord into something like this if I say I'm going to make it a God honoring thing again. So that would be what I would say that I haven't done well at.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Have you noticed from a growth on the spiritual side with spiritual maturity? You talked to like the disciplines, right? Being able to physically discipline your body to grow physically, that then translated to spiritual disciplines. Have you seen any other, for both of y'all, any other growth or benefit that it gave you spiritually, right? While you're pursuing Jesus, maturing in him, that because of fitness, it also helped pursuing Jesus in some way, shape, or form.
I mean, I can answer for you. I mean, as
Oh, there we go. Plot twist.
as your partner, just watching you through like all the bodybuilding stuff. I mean, you've said it before, whenever you are disciplined and even during your show, you feel like a better husband and you feel like you're more disciplined in your faith and with being a good husband and like being mindful of me and stuff like that. So I feel like you're definitely, I mean, not saying you aren't right now, but during your preps, you kind of have like a confidence boost in like your faith and how the Lord is kind of shaping you because you feel so disciplined in this one area. That's definitely helped, and it's been a lot better, I would say, after this last prep is over, that it's still stayed consistent. I mean, I think the first prep was just hard doing that, but as you've learned how to like have
For
that
everybody,
same-
can you define the word prep in like 10 seconds for everybody who may be like me?
Preparation for a bodybuilding show.
yeah.
Okay. That's
It,
diet,
it ranges
workout.
between like 12 weeks to like 22, depending on what you do.
Yeah.
But they just call it prep.
So when you have a diet and you're going to the gym and you're talking to a coach, I would say that's like a prep.
So you would say with confidence that you would, a direct correlation to physical disciplines correlating to spiritual disciplines, or at least giving you confidence or a kick in the pants to be spiritual discipline?
Yeah, I think that routine, I think just the habits stacked very well, because if I was up at the Stairmaster before work, I was able to have this like really quiet moment.
Yeah.
You know, just like I would even bring my Bible with me. A lot of people can't do this. I don't think they can multitask.
I can't Stairmaster and read. Everything's shaking.
I was blessed, I guess, to be so ADD that I was able to like walk and read at the same time. And that would be kind of like my prayer time, because I
Yeah.
was like
It's
at
beautiful.
our previous apartment. it was like this dungeon gym, and there was one Stairmaster, and no one was ever in there. So I was able to like put worship music on, just like blast it, and then I could just like pray out loud. And it was also like near the end when you're so like tired and hungry, it's kind of like a fast in a way. Like I was like fastedly walking 45 to an hour on this Stairmaster, and it's like, okay, all I can do is just talk to God right now.
Because music gets boring by that point.
Podcast.
That's a big
I had
pro
Christmas
tip there.
blasting.
Right, to do those things, right, to develop physical disciplines in the fitness realm doesn't mean you have to be a bodybuilder, right, and do this 20-week prep. But you can be, man, heck yeah, go for it. But it could also be just setting, I don't know, daily routines, right, and sticking to it and being disciplined. And then, so I say it because everybody out there listening, man, if we, starting with myself, right, man, if we set physical disciplines in the fitness realm, whether if it's take your dog for a walk up and down your stairs, doing something physically active and staying disciplined in those, man, it sounds like that will only benefit us on the spiritual aspect. Like it won't hurt us in any way, shape, or form. But if anything, will give us the confidence to be like, man, no, if I can wake up every morning and do 10 push-ups, I can also wake up and read my Bible. Like it seems like there's a correlation there from a discipline aspect. And it's an encouraging thing because that doesn't mean you have to be absolutely yoked and shredded. I would love for us all to be absolutely yoked and shredded. But from just a pro tip, man, anybody out there who feels like, I'll say struggling spiritually, but maybe feels stagnant, man, an avenue you could pursue is starting to develop some physical disciplines in the fitness realm and then see if that then correlates on the spiritual aspect. Man, I think that's cool. That's a big pro tip there. That you notice, man, that you can testify to, and that you're also you're the witness, the test to be able to testify to that as well.
Do you still have the thing in your head? I was remember you were like,
Social
there's something
media
in your
thing
head.
Oh.
No.
I think I answered the social media question.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. But if you can't remember, then I'm lost as well.
Was it the body image
Probably.
I think we
question?
talked about it a little bit.
Okay.
Of like, yeah, probably about how to handle,
a good
or like
question.
incorporating the Lord into it. Because for me, it was like you're just stepping on stage, like you're like
Oh, yeah.
to win. You're at least in bikini, like you're getting compared to other like women, like, and that's in not like no part of the Bible for me because I was very black and white at that moment. Was like can point to this verse, and it was just really weird because, like for bikini, what you're graded on is literally like muscle that complements the female physique and being pretty, and that's all it is. And so for me, I was like, how do I invite the Lord in this at all? And so that was one of my things I think I was asking was
Yeah, no, that's really good. I think it's 1 Samuel for bodily training is some value, but training for godliness is much greater. I think for me, I have always been. I think when I'm in the gym setting, I'm a bigger guy, so people automatically are kind of like more attentive to what I have to say. And I'm just much.
Are you
more,
a Planet Fitness guy?
No.
start telling people you eat no protein and you just pray, and this is gonna make Gen Z get jacked and follow Jesus.
No, and I think I felt so much confidence in the gym that I was able to because people are there to get better. They're working through probably like an insecurity. They're much more open to growth physically, spiritually, and emotionally. I think people were like you spot someone on the bench and like, dude, thank you so much. And I was always just so bubbly that people were like, man, like tell me about yourself. And it was like such a segue to be like, oh yeah, man. And I always wear a brand that sponsors us is Fear the Lamb. And I have it right now, but it's like gym apparel that has like Jesus is coming back on the back.
Dude, hold that thought, because I want to dive into that, but our cameras are gonna die.
Yeah, of course.
Pick it up real quick. So in the gym, and what are some of the testimonial God moments you've had inside the gym atmosphere? And both of you guys, man, can speak to this.
Yeah.
Some of just the God moments you've had inside the gym, whether it's spotting somebody on the bench and then they recognize your Fear the Lamb t-shirt, like any cool just God moments inside the gym.
I can't name any specifically, but
Just kidding then.
No, as I think as our platform has grown, I think people now recognize us, and like we're so obvious about our faith that people like are instantly comfortable and they're like, dude, I love that video about this addiction, about modesty, and it's like, okay, sweet, the door's wide open. We can talk about this.
You know everything about me now.
Yeah, it's like, wow, you know everything about my testimony, our testimony.
That's
like,
so funny.
Let's chop it up. We can cut like the small talk through. And I think, and going back in terms of like, how can you make it honor God? I think the stuff on the stage for me was just like really, really fun. And the way, like I had a spiritual mentor when I was doing all these different things. And he was kind of like, most of the guys there are all men. They're all cool. Like, you know, the attire you're wearing is like the exact same as like a Speedo that you would wear when you swim. And it never like affected me in terms of like that attire. And the ability just to be in the different rooms with these different bodybuilders and like get to be a light backstage or on stage. And then when there's disappointment or when people are have reached this thing where they think it's the peak of their life, like they've dieted so much, it's like such a cool room to be in, to be like, hey, like this isn't it, like let's talk about something that means a little bit more. And I think that for me was like I said, I'm never going to be the biggest guy, but if I can just be outspoken and be a light in that stage of area, that was kind of like for me how I could honor the Lord in that. And especially with the social media stuff, it's like it almost precedes us now. It's like, oh, you're that guy that like yaps about his faith in bodybuilding.
You're the redheaded buff Christian guy.
And it's, are you Stephen Covert's wife?
No.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's my favorite.
That happens to me, but that's just because Josh is a
So
pastor at
thank
a
you,
church.
Stephen and Stephen Covert's wife, for hopping on this podcast.
For sure.
I'll get you a
man.
hat that says
Yeah,
that.
I know. I need that.
But it's a cool testament because when we started dating and I had frosted tips and
No, Justin Timberlake.
I had frosted tips
Yeah,
and I
it's bad.
had an infected stud earring. The biggest thing, and just a testament that the Lord has done, is you're Stephen Covert's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And it was like a
bad thing.
Yeah, and she had to like, and it's just so beautiful.
Let's go.
And
Yeah,
such like a blessing that now it's like, oh, you guys are the Coverts.
You're like, heck
The
yeah, we
eyebrows
are.
are up here,
Yeah.
and instead of down here, and it's just been like, I'm so glad that you can. She worked hard to have like a nice
That
tone
died
to
on.
it.
Wait till with your son. They're gonna. Your son better.
Hopefully, Lord willing. A covert. But
Yeah.
she would have to go through so many uncomfortable conversations when we started dating because I had such a bad reputation. And she's like,
Wow.
like have fun being with him for like 3 months.
Yeah, and
Oh,
it was so early in our relationship. I didn't know a lot of what he had done or what he had been involved in or who he had been involved with.
Surprise.
And so
he
it
had
definitely
done.
was a rough few months.
forgiven.
but-
Surprise,
Suffering.
Shawty.
yeah. But it was cool though because we also got to go back to Liberty for their homecoming weekend, like last year I think it was, and there were several people. We would just be walking around campus and they would recognize us, and it was like that same thing of like kind of a full circle moment of like, wow, we were here 4 years ago, and it was not this sort of connotation to what you're saying about who we are, and so it was cool to kind of be back in that place too. And the Lord has definitely just flipped his story upside down and let me be part of it, so it's been really cool.
So beautiful.
Man, that's awesome.
That's a big thing in the gym, though. I feel like because like working in the gym industry, like it's not the most holy place. If anything, it's very worldly, and there's a grasp on it. And so, I just remember, even with my coworkers, like trying to share the gospel with them or things like that, it was always really, really hard. But you think of the gym, and it's just like a church. It's like people go there because they're broken, like, and they're always like you're there for a reason. And then so, like you said, to be like a light in that place is so cool. And I think like more Christians, I don't think they understand like how much of a light you are in there. And it starts with just like spotting somebody, and then, hey, you know Jesus or something like that, or nothing
Yeah, real
increases
quick.
your prayer life more than
And
struggling.
What are some very tangible, like spotting somebody on the bench,
Yeah.
that somebody could do? Like they could go to the gym tomorrow, but hey, if I want to be a light in the gym tomorrow, here are some very, not being legalistic, but just very practical, tangible things that if you do this in the gym tomorrow, you can have some confidence you're being a light.
Give me a person.
Yeah.
I don't have to.
No, you can't. I was gonna say something, but
I'll go quick. I think this is not super duper like immediate, but I think if you work hard and you develop because I think your physique is like a reflection of your discipline, and
Yep.
it's a reflection of your character, and if you can commit to something. So if you're able to take it seriously, but also be kind and take the hoodie off and maybe be attentive to everybody, I think you are automatically different, and you automatically kind of deserve this credibility, like deserve people's attention. Be like, oh, what does he have to say?
Yeah.
He obviously sticks to something. I think that gives you like a door in automatically. So take it seriously and learn
That's good.
and get good at it. Yeah.
I think just to touch on that too, the hoodie thing, you've mentioned that a lot. I feel like especially
What is the hoodie thing?
just I feel like there's a vibe whenever you're like really big into working out. You're just like kind of depressed and like upset all the
Oh, I
time,
gotcha.
really moody. And
Headphones
that's like
in, hoodies on,
exactly.
don't talk to anybody, don't make eye contact.
Yeah,
I
there's
got
just
you.
like a connotation that like you're not having a good time, you're fighting your demons kind of thing. And I think especially, I mean, you don't have to be a bodybuilder, but I feel like especially in the bodybuilding
I
world.
know a couple of those.
Yeah, it just
Love you
you just get kind of in your own head, and a lot of bodybuilders are really grumpy because they're hungry,
Yeah.
and they're just really mean. And so I think not really, not all of them, but like they can be because they're hungry and they're skinny and stuff like that. And so I think too, just like being the difference of like having a good attitude even though you're not doing well because you're hungry, things like that. I mean, you don't have to be a bodybuilder, but you can definitely still have a good attitude and be kind and lively and not have to be so grungy about it.
You're killing it. And I think to touch on that, to piggyback off what you were saying, when you see those men or women that are very intense about it, I think that hour in the gym is like everything to them. I think it's like make or break for how they see themselves, how they approach their day. Like if this is not a good workout, that's like terrible night. And I definitely like probably 3 times this week I've already kind of let that take over me. But I think if you can fail, if you can like maybe have a bad workout and still leave like the same person and smiling, I think that's automatically like,
It's good.
yeah, it's like, hey, I love this and this is fun. And I've been blessed to like always been kind of like when I'm in the gym. And
Wait,
I had a lot of
to be
buddies.
like what?
What is the guy that Jim Carrey is that
Jim Carrey?
Is that the guy like the really
Jim Carrey?
who is
GYM
it?
Carrey?
No, like the really goofy movie.
actor,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know exactly.
But buff and redheaded. like
Oh, and I think the Lord kind of blessed me with like this outgoing personality when I started working out that I never. I came to the gym just to be with people. I think just to be around people.
Yeah.
Because I was homeschooled and I didn't talk to anybody. So I would go to the Chester YMCA and be like, these were my people.
You're from Chester? Like here?
No, Virginia.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think.
Sorry, I
Chester,
knew that.
Virginia.
Yeah, I learned quickly that this is a fun place and I can connect with my friends. I think a lot of people go in and like, I gotta get like, this is all I have. And I think I've been able to just like keep it light, and I think that's important.
So it sounds like don't overcomplicate it. Just be kind.
Don't
Right?
overcomplicate it.
Have some joy, right?
But I also like, sometimes I do need a good workout and my day's going terrible and I succumb to it 100%.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think when done right.
Well, do we have time to touch base just a little bit more? You made a comment about like the physical disciplines, like as a Christian, like how you believe that if you aren't like, or you believe like being physically disciplined helps your spiritual discipline. I feel like that's huge. Like, you just see people who like lose themselves within their bodies, and you can see like physically and emotionally that like they're not okay. You know, like there's body image issues, but there's also like I think there is something really real to like having a physical discipline and how it helps you on your walk and your journey. So like talking more about that.
Well, I think for me,
Like the Mormons have it so right. Like all Mormons are like,
are they Jack?
because they take the verse like very serious of like your body's a temple, and so like everything that goes into it, like they take that verse 100% serious.
Hey, good for them.
And so they're all like very fit. Well, most of them are very fit. But then you look into like Western Christianity and things like that, and like not to be like, oh, they need help.
I think I get what you're getting
Yeah,
at.
no.
Like, are you talking about that almost the responsibility a believer may have
Yeah.
on physical health?
Because it's like
that-
your
is
body
that-
is
is
a
that more the
temple.
question?
You should be like disciplined in your physical health. But I feel like we kind of put that aside a little bit.
That's good. Yeah, what's a good balance there? Like, how much responsibility do you feel to know, hey, this is not my body. It's been bought with a price. You know, Jesus died on the cross. Holy Spirit living inside of me. So that means everything else included in that, the way I talk, the way I walk, the things I do, the things I don't do, the things I post, like all that stuff is representing this body, this temple, the Jesus I follow. So how much from a prioritizing physical health does that overlap? Or is it, hey, I just like physical health because I like physical health? Or there's an overlap because my body is a temple?
Yeah, I think for me, I think that I don't know if I was worried about necessarily the outcome, but when I got the inputs right, that was huge for me. I think I was worried about, okay, I have to go do the Stairmaster, less of like, okay, this is what I'm gonna look like after the Stairmaster. I think when I lined up the idea of having the routine, I think helped me spiritually. I don't know necessarily if it was the result, but when I was sharp on the cardio, it was like, okay, I was also watching what I'm eating, but it was less of, okay, I hope my body looks like this, and more of, let me make sure I'm watching what I put in it, I think. But that's a really good question.
I mean, I
have to
definitely
brew
think
over it.
as believers, we do have a responsibility to take care of our bodies.
Yeah.
Healthy is going to look different for everybody. It's
Yeah.
very subjective. And so, like, obviously not everyone is going to be a bodybuilder.
For
I
me,
just
it's
don't
on
think
grass.
everybody should be
Yeah.
a
Leaf
bodybuilder.
blower.
Until Steven gets on me.
Yeah.
But I think there is a responsibility to, like, your body should be healthy. And if you're
Yeah.
purposefully neglecting it, then that's where there's
There you go.
issues.
There's a good heart posture, right? If you're purposely neglecting it,
Yeah,
come on, that's
preach.
good.
Awesome. You're so good at that. How'd you answer that so quick?
Stephen Covert's wife.
Stephen Cover's wife, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm telling you, every time I say anything or write any video, it runs right through Betsy immediately.
Yeah.
Man, that's
She's
awesome.
got some wisdom.
I love
She's
that.
the ghostwriter behind
Yep.
everything.
So if you are purposely neglecting your physical health,
Yeah.
that's the red flag to wave, to be like, all right, guys, we should probably reevaluate this. Why are we purposely neglecting this, right? Because you're not going to accidentally wake up and be a bodybuilder or
Yeah.
accidentally wake up and do these things. But we can, from a heart posture, I can purposely neglect my physical health. All of us can purposely do that things and be intentional about that and say, man, yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah.
Man, that's like a great way to land that plane then. Well, appreciate you guys, man, hanging out with us tonight, having these conversations, talking through things. Again, if you did not watch the first episode with them, make sure you check it out in their relationship journey and just, man, God's glory through it and the redemption through it. And also now just their fitness journey. Everybody out there working out, man, don't be like me. Or let's start doing it, man. Let's start developing some physical disciplines, man. Something small, something tangible. Set those goals, accomplish them, commit to it, and then just see, man, it's not going to hurt you in any way, shape, or form. So appreciate you guys being here. And yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. Same time, same place.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Stranded Podcast by 3 Strands Young Adults, where we talk about faith, life, and everything in between. Whether you're feeling lost, looking for direction, or just in need of some real talk, we're here for you. We're so glad you've tuned in today.
Each week, we dive into topics that matter to you: relationships, purpose, struggles, and stories of how God is showing up in the everyday. Our goal is to help you find your feet when life feels like you're stranded and remind you that you're never truly alone.
Let's get into it.